We are live. And welcome to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 28-year veteran of comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games as a writer, artist, and editor. And tonight, our guest this evening is Mr. Gary Shipman, best known for his works Packin's Land and Titan, Mouse of Might. We're going to be talking about his new crowdfunding campaign for the second volume of Titan, Mouse of Might, which is How the Mighty Have Fallen is the subtitle. And let's welcome in, log on in today. There you go. There's Gary.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing okay. And we got a lot of people here tonight. We got Humphrey Bear. We got Nighthawk Warrior. We got Wrench 1202 XD. Hello.
Right on. Hey, everybody. Glad you can make it over. Everybody like and share. Let your people know.
Yes, I appreciate it a lot because all too often I try to get guests on and they kind of blow me off, and Gary doesn't. Gary, I barely got a hold of him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll be there." So thank you very much for being on the show this evening. I appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. It's fun.
And so you have just been at the end of fulfillment on the first edition of Titan, Mouse of Might, which I got a copy of, obviously. Love this book.
Oh, thank you.
And I also I got so much stuff that I didn't bring it all over, but I got a patch, I got bookmarks, I got trading cards. There was just so much cool stuff that came with this book that from the first fulfillment. And I was just like, immediately, as soon as I saw this on Indiegogo, I said, yeah, gotta let people know about the second one. Gotta let them know.
Cool. Yeah. It was a lot of fun doing that book. Everything about it went so quickly and so smoothly, like the writing process, the drawing process. Sometimes I would feel like I'd hit like a block, like how's the story go? How am I gonna fit this and make it work? And then I'd like go lay down to go to bed or something, and then either while I was about to fall asleep or as I was waking up the next day, like a thought would come to me. It's like, oh, that's it. And then I hit the table again. Mm-hmm. So we got through it. We really moved fast doing the pages. I drew a lot of them on my live stream on my channel. Mm-hmm. And so you can, if people wanted to, they could go to my channel and go to the backlog of all these pages that we did live streams on and check them out, or even come and watch new live streams where we're doing Titan 2
mm-hmm. right now. Yep. And his live stream is, what is the name of your live stream again? I'm trying to remember.
You could go like Mr. G Ship.
Mr. G Ship?
All one word.
Mr. G Ship, all one word? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Mr. MR period or Mr. spelled out?
It's, no, MR G
Ship. Okay. On YouTube.
with no spaces. Yeah.
Okay. Is that correct?
I'm not looking right yet.
Do you see where I put it on the page?
Yeah, Mr. G Ship. Yeah, there it is. I see it.
Okay.
Gary's channel, making
I
comics.
don't know why Nighthawk's stuff keeps getting retracted. I don't know if he did something wrong or not, because he posted some stuff earlier tonight. He didn't.
I don't know.
Gary's channel is Making Comics the Gary Shipman Way. Is that?
Yeah, you can either look up Making Comics the Gary Shipman Way. The easy way is Mr. G Ship, but
Okay.
you could even probably search in YouTube Gary Shipman and it would come up.
Okay.
Because there's not a whole lot of Gary Shipmans on YouTube. There may be a few, but there's not a lot.
There's quite a few Quoth the Ravens. That's why I had to make a Quoth the Raven Lewis Bright Raven. But yeah.
Yeah, you might even be able to type Titan Mouse of Might and it would on YouTube and I'd probably pop up. So
Yeah. So, we were talking about your history with Caliber a little bit. You asked me about Gary, and unfortunately you hadn't seen him in a while. Last time you saw him was like right before he passed away.
right. Yeah, Gary Reed was the publisher of Caliber Comics, which was the company that first published Packens Land back in the 80s. And I guess there's I'm sorry, what?
Was it really the 80s, that far back?
Oh, maybe it wasn't. I'm sorry. It was like in the 90s.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it was the 80s.
I'm not that old. Yeah, but I guess you and I have that kind of mutual
history.
Yeah, because you worked with Gary or knew Gary, and so did I. So yeah.
Well, I was in kind of like an intern submissions reader. I was the guy that you got to. Everybody sent their first stuff. I was the first one you had to go through before it got to the Pruitts. Before it got to Gary, I was.
So did you see Packens Land?
I don't think I did. I think that I'm pretty sure, because I wasn't there all the time because I was still in college, so I would come on the weekends and get through what I would get through, and I guess Gary and the others would do what they could do during the week too. So I'm pretty sure I know I heard of it, but I don't remember if I saw it and approved it, or if they had already approved it before I saw it.
Yeah, well, I met Jim Pruitt at San Diego Comic-Con. Like, I'm not sure what year it was, but it was in the 90s, like maybe 94.
That sounds right. 94, 95-ish, yeah.
And at the show, we were actually showing, I always thought that I was going to self-publish Packens Land because I thought, because of the subject matter, it's not like mainstream. It's not something that people, I think, would take to like superhero comics or something. And so my wife and I thought, well, we'll just self-publish and we'll do it ourselves. We won't worry about it. And we went to San Diego, and because I was into all that stuff back in the 80s. Now that is the right date. But so we went to San Diego, and I think we were going to meet up with some guys that did a book called Archangels, and it was really doing well in kind of this indie, kind of the Christian indie comic world, and they were like really doing good. And so we went there and we were meeting with them, and as we were showing them Packens Land and maybe thinking maybe they would publish it or something, on the flip side, so like in the aisle, like here's the aisle where you walk, here's where the Archangel people were, and on this side was Caliber. We were facing this way, and we had this person was with us, just a friend of the family who never went to comic book conventions or anything like that, and she was just a young girl, and she had turned around. I guess Jim Pruitt was saying, hey, you want some comic books and stuff like that, and then that got my attention. And I was like, wait, hold on. I looked at their caliber table and was like, I don't think this is like appropriate. And he said, no, these are good. These are all good books and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now all the books that Jim Pruitt did, and I guess they're
Mm-hmm.
very family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, cool. And he said, so I get, and the girl that was with us, her name was Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
She was saying, well, he did a comic book, and he said, well, I want to see the comic book. And so we turned around, and I was like, what's going on, you know? And so I said, oh, sure. I had some ash cans, and I showed them to Jim, and he was flipping through them, and I guess he said, I guess he just sat and read it right there because he said, I want to publish this.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
It was like right on the spot, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, because see, I graduated in May of '94 from college, and I was supposed to come work full time for Caliber at that time, but my parents had sold their house and moved out west to Nevada, or Arizona actually, and I had to help them move out west. And then my mother got sick, and I never got back to Michigan to work full time with Caliber at that point. So I can remember that's probably why I didn't see it in the offices. Is probably because I wasn't there. And what Gary would do was send me stuff online for the stuff that was like, you know, or he would actually mail me slush and say, mail me back the stuff that you think is fake. So, yeah. Okay. Wildfoot asks, how long ago did you come up with the Titan character?
Well, I came up with the actual Titan character probably a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It was basically not very much before I actually started drawing the book, but I did have a story in mind. Actually, it's right here in Packens Land. We'll get there. It's the very first page of the story. There's a lot of pages. Okay, so I had this idea. This is a page from like 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And if you can see right there, let me go closer. Maybe you can see it. On the bookshelf, it says Mouse of Might.
Yeah.
Right there. And then it has like the Banana Famine. Banana Famine actually was the first idea that I had for Packens Land. And then Paul's Adventure is what this omnibus is.
Okay.
And there's Quest for Kings, Forgotten Dreams, and other stuff. But Mouse of Might was an idea that I had a long time ago. Can you see it on the screen?
Barely. Let me see if I can.
I can go closer.
Yeah, that's work. There you go.
Oh, there it is. So there it is. Mouse of Might. But it wasn't Titan.
Yeah.
Then as now these years have gone, I've actually developed it, and he has a name. His name is Titan, and now he's in a book. So I had the idea, but not fleshed out as much as it has been of late.
Yeah, and this is one of the Packens Lands books. This is actually the Quest for Kings, the first issue of that storyline.
Right.
And that was 97, 98, something like that. Let me check real quick here. August of 97.
Yeah, and that one's in here, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't remember what page it was, but the omnibus is 500 and I think 19 or 15 pages. It's
wow.
This thing's a monster.
Definitely worth the $55 then.
Yeah, this is a big book. Tons of memories in there. Good times.
Yes. Nighthawk Warrior says we helped Gary Naiman in his live streams last year.
Yeah. A lot of people are regulars on my live stream. Nighthawk, Lover of Books is here. Humphrey Bear, I see. Wrench.
Yep.
Who else? Wild Food. And they may come here too. I don't know, but
no, actually, most of them only have come in when you've been on. The only one who subscribed. Well, actually, I take that back. Nighthawk subscribed. For some reason, his subscription was missing, and he resubscribed today. And I think Wildwood subscribed maybe today.
Mark Andrew Smith. I'm not familiar with that name.
That's Gladstone School of World Conquerors.
Okay. Arlene, she's on she comes on mine.
So that's cool. Thank you, Wrench.
And Captain Hiltz.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught it. Wrench, I thank you. For those of you who don't know what Quoth the Raven is, usually I do a weekly program where I try to either discuss what's going on in the industry or just have artists like Gary and other creators come in and promote their books. Usually on a weekly basis. This month I've been doing it daily, doing reviews of comics as well. I usually do reviews of comics in the weekly format, but I'm getting away from that after this month. I'm going to be just pretty much trying to just stick with conversations like these on the weekly show. So, because most people seem to get bored with the reviews. I don't know why, but they do. No patience. Yeah, I guess. But so yeah, there's that. And let's see, there we go. Okay, yeah, just making sure. So we have how many more? You said you had like maybe 3 or 4 more books you had to do sketches for or something before you.
For fulfillment, yeah, I have like well, one of them is a deluxe edition. I have a deluxe edition for Packens Land 2 for the omnibus. Let me show you that.
Okay. I'm stepping away for just a second. He's got quite a bit of stuff.
All right, I'm just bringing over everything.
Oh boy.
So this is the omnibus deluxe edition, and there was only 50 of these made.
Oh,
and
wow.
So what I'll do is I'll draw on every one of them. Has an original drawing right here, and then I sign it at the top. So I have to draw one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same, it's virtually the same book, just this one's signed and numbered on the inside. It has a page here where I sign and number it, and I do that original drawing on the front cover. I have a Goth and Ugly sketchbook that I did this year. That's my camera. Okay. Sometimes it whacks out on me. But anyways, this one's probably one of my favorite sketchbooks. It's my first hardcover, but it's got more of my unusual kind of artwork in it. There's also so if people aren't really into comics so much, this might be something that is maybe not up their alley, but I have like these stories that go with the artwork as well, and they're kind of funny to me, but they're sort of based in my life. Like these are stories of my life, and I'm thinking about volume 2 of this is going to be coming up. And there is some comic stuff. Like here's the Crow. We were speaking about Caliber. Wasn't Caliber the first people that did the Crow? Yeah. Here's a Poison Ivy on a Batman, one of those blank covers.
Right.
So yeah, there is some comic stuff. I think I did a section of Ugly Heroes. Yeah, like here we go, Ugly Heroes. So I should have put on there that this was from John Byrne's Phoenix Must Die, but I didn't.
I think most people recognize it without it being told. It's such an iconic image, you know.
Yeah.
You got Throg. Yeah, Throg. Thor Frog. Throg. There we go.
Yeah. So I got some of my Ugly Heroes in here, so you'll recognize those. But I love this book. This is one of my favorite books. Just a lot of alternative kind of artwork that I do. So the next volume that I do, this is volume 1. I'm thinking about every page is going to have a story with it. So it won't just be like showing pictures like this. I keep turning to the same page, but like this. So I'll have a picture down here and a story up here, or I'll put a story over here for the picture, you know. So
right. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell more of the stories behind the artwork, and I think that'll be fun. So that's my Goth and Ugly. Here's last year's sketchbook. What I did is I left a space to where I would draw on every one of these as well. So anybody who gets a 2019 sketchbook would get an original drawing on the cover as well. And then here's my 2018 sketchbook. These are all paper or floppy, paperbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the hardcover. I think I'm going to switch over to hardcover from now on because it's just a lot better.
Yeah.
So here's my 2008.
One thing, it's easier to ship them.
Yeah, I guess it would be, but I just like hardcovers.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously they cost more, but they're more apt to survive shipping, especially today.
Yeah.
You know.
And here's a 2016 sketchbook. Here's my first sketchbook that I ever did.
So are all these things available through?
For the yeah, I think they're available. I think the sketchbooks you might have to go to. I have a campaign that's in demand on Indiegogo called the Goth and Ugly,
right?
The somewhat gothic, somewhat ugly sketchbook on Indiegogo, and in there's a perk where you can get all the sketchbooks.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how much longer I'll leave that open, but it's there for now.
Okay.
And here's a Packensland coloring book that I did. We may end up doing a Titan coloring book too. I'm not sure. And then I did a 2019 calendar. I don't have any more of these, so this is the last one I have. So those aren't available, but it's 2020. So
almost 2021 now. It's actually time for 2021 calendars.
Right. But the calendar, I don't know if I want to do calendars anymore. This was cool to have. We had it up on our fridge. It was just nice to have it. It had some nice shots in there and stuff. But yeah, then we did the announcement in the calendar of when the Packensland Omnibus was going to launch.
That's cool.
On Indiegogo. So there's the launch date. And we did this in 2018. We did this calendar so that people would have it for 2019. And so when they got this, it was with my 2018 sketchbook. You could also get the Packensland calendar with that perk. And then when they got it, and I never told anybody what the launch date was going to be, they'd get their calendar, and then when they saw the date, they'd be, oh, there it is. And then the thing up here was the launch date for it. It's just, I thought it was a cool way of doing like the reveal. Yeah. So we've been having a lot of fun with this stuff. It's just great. And everybody's been super supportive. And
yeah, you do a lot of good things that promote yourself. It seems like to me. And one of the best things I find, I mean, you're always talking and you're daily doing your sketch and your pages on your YouTube page, but I don't see you ever like, here's what's wrong with the comic book industry now, buy my book, which I see from a lot of people in.
Do you want me to do it right now?
What's that?
What you just said.
No.
Here's what's wrong with the comic book industry. Buy my book.
Yeah. But I mean, if you know what I mean, that I mean, a lot of these guys that are like Comicsgate and they're funding their books and they're just every day they just trash everybody else's comics in the mainstream.
Yeah.
And so but here's a solution: buy our books instead. And it's like, really, why don't you just promote your own book and not worry about what everybody else is doing?
Yeah. I mean that kind of talk. I mean, I can't say even anything against that kind of talk because that is a way of selling books. I mean, and it's working.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, it is.
It's just that I don't like to do it, or if I do it, if I get myself caught up into that kind of way of thinking or talking, I become kind of an unpleasant person, and I don't think that. I don't enjoy it. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, to me, a lot of these people that are doing that are very unpleasant individuals. That's how they come across to me on, what's wrong with the industry rants get tiresome. Exactly. From Arlene Atkins Zell. And that seems to be what, Ethan Van Sciver and Billy Tukey and your boy Zach and Clint Stokes and these other guys do. And I'm not saying that they're necessarily wrong. I'm not even saying that their books are bad. It's just, if that's all you're going to talk about is complain about that and then say, buy my book, I don't want to buy your book because I've listened to you complain for hours, type thing to me. I'd rather have you just talk to me about your book,
Yeah.
Make me care about that. What you got there on your hand? A bug?
Some sort of a bug. It's been flying around here. You know what kind that is? Does anybody?
Nope. Oh,
It'll open up its back like shell.
Mm-hmm.
It'll fly.
Mm.
So this is going to dominate the stream now. We have our mascot.
Yeah. Gary is drama free. Yes, he's peaceful. There it went.
Well,
He'll come back probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Wrench said that was a light bug. Lightning bug, maybe?
No, it doesn't light up. The lightning bugs are thinner and longer. That one's sort of like squarish. It looks almost like a guitar pick.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at your Indiegogo stream here.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, it looks like you are 68% funded, a little over $3,400 with 27 days left. Let's go ahead and give them a little bit of feedback, or not feedback, but most of the people here who are watching know what this is. But for those viewers who don't know.
Okay, yeah. So Titan Mouse of Might 2 is the sequel to Titan Mouse of Might 1. If you didn't get in on Titan Mouse of Might 1, it's okay because it's available here as well in Titan 2. And basically it's about a mouse who is from the world of Packen's Land. If you aren't familiar with Packen's Land, don't worry, it also is here in Titan 2. So he's a mouse that comes from the world of Packen's Land, and the world of Packen's Land is filled with extraordinary talking, intelligent animals who are going through their own kind of problems, dealing with like the hierarchy of like people, or not people, but animals ruling over different animals, and some are tyrannical, some are benevolent, and it's just the struggles that the animals go through. But anyways, how it starts is Paul is a boy who ends up going into the world of Packen's Land through like a magical cave, like a portal. But with Titan, it's the other way around. Titan ends up going through a portal. It's not a cave, but he ends up they end up creating a portal accidentally, and he ends up going through the portal into the world of men. And so Titan is now an intelligent animal who is now in the world of men who've never seen animals that could talk, except for in like Disney movies.
Yeah,
cartoons. Not only Disney. I mean, it's Hanna-Barbera. It's everybody. So, anyways, yeah. So Titan is there, and he's trying to figure out how to get back home, just like Paul in Packen's Land is trying to figure out how to get back home the other way. And these two stories are going to eventually collide, if you will. But right now we're on part 2 of Titan. And as it stands right now, it looks like it's going to be at least a 3-part kind of saga, but it could be more. I'm going to start marrying these two stories more and more together, Packen's Land and Titan. And then we are going to be coming out eventually with another Packen's Land story. So I hope that was.
It says make a new character based on the bug.
I know I should. He's on my screen right now. Let me see if I can get him. Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, he doesn't want to come.
Yeah.
And it's quite friendly. Oh, I got him. It's a friendly little dude.
Where'd he go?
So I'll go through the perks here. The featured perk, which is the early bird special, it's limited to 100. And I basically just modeled this off of the first Titan campaign. People seem to like it. 9 of those have been claimed. And it looks like you get, I've done so many perks that I forget what I've even done. I have to look at it myself. You get a signed Titan 2 Deluxe Edition. So this is going to be like 160 pages. I don't have it in there, but it'll be 160 pages. Not all story, but some of it is like back matter, like my working progress or process, how I do, like from sketch to final. A lot of that stuff's in there. I can show some of those pages if you want to see those later. I'll show you in Titan 1.
Okay.
And it's also more of a deluxe format as well, like with paper and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Higher grade, right?
Yeah, it's a higher grade, yeah. So you get the deluxe edition, you get a Titan sticker, a new one that I'm going to be making. Not the same as the one that was in Titan 1.
Right.
And then another bookmark completely new for this campaign, and a Titan print, which is going to be new as well.
What size is the print going to be?
The print will be, well, I have the one from last time I can show you. It's about the size of the book. It's like, I'd have to measure it.
It's like 10 by 13 then. 9 by 12 or 10 by 13. Something like that.
So here's the print. It's not exactly the same size as the book, but it is close.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Measure here. It looks like it's 10 by, or 8 by 10.
Oh, 8 by 10. Okay.
So it fits nicely.
Yeah, okay. That works. It's a nice looking print. That was the one I came with the first one.
Yeah. So that was the one that came with the first one. I might make this. I have a few of these left. I'm not sure how I'll make those available to people or not. If anybody's interested, we'll figure something out. So what else? So if you wanted to just get a digital copy of Titan 2, you could do that for $10.
Yep.
Good. And then if you want to get the regular hardcover, which is similar to the one that I had on my desk, where you could see the square photos of the other animals around Titan. But this will be the volume 2 version of that. And all of these perks will also come as we make stretch goals. All these perks will get the stretch goals that come with them.
Cool.
So yeah, so a regular hardcover is $25. If you want to get the first hardcover and the second hardcover together, it's $49. And then if you want to get the deluxe edition, that's $50. If you want to get Packin's Land Omnibus, it's $55. Then if you want to get a deluxe edition with a remark, which is like I'll do a head sketch drawing on the inside, you can get that for $75. And then the perks just keep a rolling. If you want to get all 3 Titan Deluxe 1, 2, and the Packin's Land Omnibus, you can get that. I have original pages that are available. If you want to get those, they're in there as well.
It's got original pages for art for sale as well, which I think is quite interesting.
Yes. So you can, and here's like a more of a close-up look of the artwork. I put like the first, I don't know if it's the first 10 pages. They aren't finished pages, but they're mostly finished.
Okay.
So some of the stuff may be like, there may be some panels that are completely finished, But then there might be some other ones that like the wording gets changed, or but I just put some stuff together just so people could see this is the level of artwork that we're talking about, just so they have something to look at, to
Right.
make a judgment call if they want to get on board or not.
The only thing you're missing is a T-shirt.
I do have a T-shirt from the last campaign, but it was pretty basic, and I was thinking about maybe doing a new T-shirt for this campaign, so that something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. And when we get to stretch goals, I'll go back to the stretch goals.
Which omnibus did you get, Arlene? The Packins Land?
So the stretch goals, when we reach the which is basically our flexible goal we're trying to get to is $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get there, I'm going to make the third Titan trading card. So far, I've made two trading cards that were in the first campaign, and they were like deluxe format. You got them, right?
Yeah.
So they're like thicker and they're substantial.
Yes, they were. I was really surprised at the quality of those. Both the original that you had two that were printed on both sides, and one that was an actual sketch card that I got.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
And
The sketch card, I think, was a Packins Land one, right?
Yes, it was on a Packins Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, I love that stuff. I was like, yeah, people always tell me, oh, sketch cards. I'm like, dude, you can make a living just doing the sketch cards.
That's true.
Wrench is saying he's heading out, so have a good day, and thank you for watching, Wrench, and be sure to stop by. Tomorrow we're doing our reviews daily. I'm not exactly sure which books I'm reviewing tomorrow off the top of my head. Let me check real quick if I can find out.
Thanks for coming by, Wrench. We'll see you later.
Let me see here. Let me check real quick here.
Oh, Arlene got something right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Thank you, Arlene. She got the Packins Land Omnibus.
Right.
Nice.
What am I reviewing tomorrow? Reviewing Mr. Miracle graphic novel by Tom King and Mitch Gerards, and 1 through 4 of Surge, which was a part of the DNA Agents series from Mark Evanier, Rick Hoberg, and Al Gordon. So I'm going to be reviewing that, and I'm also reviewing a novel by John Scalzi, but it's called The Dispatcher. That'll be my reviews for tomorrow. But so be sure to stop in for that. And he's got to go live for his show, I guess. So that makes sense.
Right on.
Can Gary show page 13 for Titan and perhaps work on it if he wants to?
Yeah, I could show that.
But what's there's a lot. You said you're doing the stretch goals, a lot of bookmarks and stuff. Eventually, I guess, maybe at 15K you get the T-shirt.
Well, I would make the T-shirt. I wouldn't do as a stretch goal because I can't afford that. But I could make a perk where if somebody wanted to buy a T-shirt, they could get it that way. But
yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah,
because that's kind of what I have to do too. In fact, I'm in the middle of making mine over on Teespring. I've got 2 shirts made, two designs made, and I'm gonna have like 4 or 5 before I actually launch the actual store. In fact, let me see if I can find. Okay, I'm gonna quickly unshare Gary's thing real quick. We'll come back to it. And as you can see, he's working on page 13. Let me see if I can. There we go. A little bit closer there. You won't be able to see Gary's, but you don't need to see Gary's face. You need to see the art.
Right.
And so this is page 13 of Titan Volume 2. That and we'll hold on a second. What do we got here? Oh, okay. And I'm going to, well, he's working on that. I'm going to add something else here as well. If I can find it. For those who might be interested, it's not ready yet. But this will be the Space Chair shirt that you can get. This is the logo that you guys saw at the beginning of the episode. You can get that on a black t-shirt or a black sweatshirt. And that's one of the things we'll have available later, probably in November is when I'm going to probably launch these. And the other one is the shirt like that, which is usually this is the image that is the logo I use for the closure and the closing credits and the question and answer segment of the show when we have questions and answers. So I'll have these two, and I'll have 3 or 4 other shirt designs for my characters as well. So that'll be available in November. So let me go ahead and stop that screen and go ahead and get back to that. I'm trying to get it so we can just see his, and it's not working the way I want it to. Nope, that's not how I want it. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Sorry, you guys got to look at me at the same time. I'd be drawn. Actually, what I can't, you know what I can do? I know what I can do. I'm going to move my camera. I'm going to turn my camera off for just a second. That way you guys don't have to look at me. All big and close like that. And that is his drawing. We're still here. I'm just looking for something real quick before I turn the camera back on. Hopefully this will work. I don't know. I'm going to try.
Camera.
You're inking with a crow quill?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll switch off with different
I
things.
use different tools too. It's no big deal. Oops. Of course, let's see what we got going on here. Let's see what happens when I came back out here. Okay, here I am. I'm going to try to do this. Normally I draw from a different camera angle, but I don't know if I can get the table where I want it to do it today, but I'm going to try. Take this stuff around. That we can both do a live draw.
Yeah.
Mine comes from a different angle, unfortunately, because I don't have the way to do it so you guys can see it straight up overhead like you can with Gary, unfortunately. Just trying to get the cord to untangle here. I don't want the camera to get screwed up. There we go. Maybe. Hopefully. There we go. And I'll just shift my cell over here a little bit. This is really good. Humphrey Bear, who are you asking? Me? Am I going to draw now? Yeah, I'm going to draw at the same time. So you can watch him work on the page, and you can watch me do the sketch card here. Yeah, I'm doing a quick sketch with basically head and shoulders shot of Titan.
Nice.
Figured why not? That's what we're promoting tonight. Forgive me while I look for my sketch. Scratch paper here. Make sure my pens are working. I'm surprised you're not with Scout comics or Aftershock in a way.
Why is that?
Well, those are the companies that the Pruitts run.
Well, I've talked to Jim. This was before even I did the Packens Land omnibus.
Uh-huh.
I think you and I had maybe talked about this a while ago, but And I'm not sure if we were on a stream talking or not, but
Uh-huh.
may have been pre-stream or whatever.
Yeah.
But they, I talked to Jim about because I was wanting to launch Packins Land again. And this is before I did crowdfunding and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And he said that they would be interested, or at least he could present it or something to the people
Uh-huh.
at Scout or whatever. And I'm not sure what his position is there, if he has the kind of pull like that he used to have at Caliber,
Uh-huh.
where he could just like say, I'm doing something on
Uh-huh.
the fly. But anyways, he said that he would be willing to either present it to the people there and see if they wanted to do it, but only if it was, he said I'd have to redraw Packins Land because it's already been published. They wouldn't be interested in doing like a reprint. And he said, so I'd have to basically go and redraw the whole thing and do it in a different way so it isn't like just reprinting something.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought so too, but maybe you've just felt like that there wasn't a market for it,
Yeah.
and that was a way to.
Well, I don't know if there's much market. I think he had some thing, but some level of higher standing in the company, but it definitely wasn't the same thing as what Caliber was. I know that.
Yeah. And so I think,
So I think it's more of a thing of what he knew what the other people would say. More so than, yeah.
now is Joe part of that too?
No, one of them runs Aftershock Comics, or co-runs Aftershock, but Mike Martz is like the lead editor, I think, over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jim was like one of the lead editors at Scout, but I think he's now got a different position recently. I think he moved over to the what's the extra, the Hollywood side of it, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And the whole Hollywood thing seems like it's just like, oh my goodness, what is going on with Hollywood?
Well, we don't know what to do with ourselves. We'll go ahead and make versions of this.
It just seems like the whole place is non-existent anymore. Like it's been shut down.
Uh-huh.
So it'll probably come back, but it's like everybody's lost their job.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, Jim did say that he'd be willing to present Packins Land if I redid it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I don't want to redo it. I feel like people need to see the version I did. It was so kind of a hidden project or something. Nobody knows about it.
Uh-huh.
So I did my own thing with crowdfunding, and now it's like I don't know if I want to go. It's not that I don't want to go to another publisher, but every time I've ever
circumstances,
yeah,
right set of
yeah, and every time that I've ever gone to another publisher, it never has worked out for me. It's like, I mean, we did publish what we published at Caliber, and that was fine, but most of the money went to Caliber. And so it's like, and I'm always the last one to get paid.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So I don't know. I mean, everybody's in it to make money. And I'm included in that.
Yep.
So it just makes it, I'm not quick to jump on doing something now. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun just doing this on my own.
Oh, absolutely.
And, so.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, I know I had certain relations with certain people through Caliber, and I would go over to try and do things with some of them. Like, well, yeah, but and I'm like, well, no, you're not that interested if you're giving me a butt. So I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to try to have, when someone wants to make you redraw the whole thing, that's a bit much. But I think that was probably more the investors not understanding what was already invested. I know Jim understood, but that doesn't mean the other people above him. The thing with Caliber, I don't know. Do you remember what kind of print runs you were getting sold offhand?
No, I don't. That was years ago.
Yeah.
We weren't doing gangbusters or anything. Um, but I think it was. I mean, if I did those numbers now,
Uh-huh.
I could, I could survive. I mean, I could do it on my own, self-publishing.
Uh-huh.
Um, but if I do it those numbers through a publisher, then it would be like they would be thinking about canceling the book. You know what I mean? Like this ain't working. Um, but for me, for a self-publisher, though, getting those kinds of numbers,
Uh-huh.
you can totally live,
Uh-huh.
but you can't run a whole production company
Right.
that way.
That was one of the problems with Caliber around the time you came in was all the distributors closed up around that time, and we went to Diamond exclusivity, and Caliber lost about 80% of their sales because Diamond did not support Caliber at all. I know that. Um, they had a huge amount through Capital and Friendly Franks and Andromeda out of Canada and these other companies that it was like losing like anywhere from 2,500 to 7,000 copies in orders.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I understand that you probably can't see the art. I don't have a um, way to get closer with my camera. Unfortunately, it's not set up for the nice closeness. um, Trying to get it. Here. I'm just doing a quick doodle here. It's not like a perfect illustration or anything of a character. I'm not that familiarized with them. I mean, I've read the book, but I had, first time I've actually tried drawing them.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Oops, it's a brush again. I don't want the brush. I'm using microns right now because my other tools are.
Yeah, I like microns.
Yeah.
I think I like microns better than what's that? What's that other one called? Copic? Copic?
Oh yeah, Copics. Copic liners are terrible
Well, I don't know that they're actually terrible. I just
compared to the microns. Yeah, I think they
I
are.
like microns better. They seem darker.
I don't think you have the tips are as well controlled with the Copics either. I think they bleed too much. Now that's not the case when you're talking about their color markers, but multi-liner pens just don't really have the
I've
same.
never been able to do color with those color markers.
Really,
Yeah, it's a totally different way of doing it.
what do you use to color?
I use Dr. Martin's
Oh,
India.
traditional watercolor dyes. Okay.
Yeah, it's more like a watercolor
Yeah.
method, but it's permanent.
Right. You're old school. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. Ah, John is here. Hey, John. How you doing? How was your doctor's appointment, John? You had to see a dentist this morning, I believe it was.
I thought Wrench left. He's still here.
Is he here? Nighthawk asks what happened to Caliber. Well, in the 90s, we had the market implode because of the distribution. Marvel bought out Heroes World and left all the other distributors in the lurch. And DC and Image and Dark Horse and a couple other major, like Valiant, some of the other majors, went Diamond exclusive. And Caliber and Slave Labor Graphics and a lot of the other high-end independent companies that used multiple distributors support, basically, because Diamond didn't support, and all the retailers were going Diamond exclusive to get the bigger companies. And so Caliber lost about 65 to 80% of their sales as a result, because Diamond just wasn't fulfilling the orders. And the other companies, as they were failing, just didn't pay Caliber at all. So Gary Reed, that is the owner of Caliber, he went to work for McFarlane, Tom McFarlane over at Image, actually with Tom McFarlane Productions. He handled the toy line. He was the head of the toy division for a number of years. And the Pruitt brothers, Jim and Joe, came over and brought some of their stuff. Brian Michael Bendis brought all of his Caliber stuff over and reprinted it at Image. That would be Fire and Jinx and Torso and all those classic crime noir stuff that Brian did early on in his career. And it came back with an additional investors later on, but it's never really had the same presence in the market as they once did, unfortunately. And then Gary passed away unexpectedly last year, or was it the year before?
No, it's been a few years, hasn't it?
I don't know. It's been a while. It was very unexpected. He died in his sleep, I believe. And while Caliber still exists, they don't. It's just not the same without Gary's stewardship. and there were other people. I mean, before Caliber, there was a company called Arrow Comics that was originally run by Ralph Griffith and Stu Kerr, and they were actually the ones who created Deadworld, not Gary. Um, they created it with oh geez, what's his name? Vince Locke. And in the '80s, they had the black and white implosion of the '80s, and the same thing happened to Arrow, and they couldn't pay Vince his money for for the books. They gave him the rights to Deadworld, and Vince sold them to Gary, if I remember correctly. That's how Deadworld got into that situation. But and Caliber would reprint and continue to print some of the Arrow stuff as it went on. But again, it's as companies come and go in our industry over the years, they tend to evolve things a little bit differently, and people seem to forget their history. Um, a lot of people think that like, well, Bendis was discovered at Image. He was in the business a good 5 or 6 years before he was at Image. You there's a lot of people who Image tried to take credit for, like Rick Remender and Ed Brubaker, discovering those guys, and I'm like, no, that was Arrow, that was slave labor, that was Caliber. um, and unfortunately, since most of those companies don't exist anymore, it's kind of it's like a forgotten history. And that was
Is slave labor still around?
Dan Votto is still around. I don't know if he's actually running slave labor or not.
I saw him a few years ago at San Diego, and man, he looked so bad. He looked like he wasn't healthy at all.
Hmm.
And I was like, what are you doing here, man? You need to go home and go lay down.
Was it really that bad?
It really was. And I guess he's had some health problems. I felt so bad for him. But he's sort of from the same area that I was from in California.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always trying to get a job with him. And he's like, no.
Well, I think the reason he was saying no is because he couldn't pay people.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, there's another company I did work with Dan for a while, again, slush reading, more or less, and I never got a dime out of it, but it was experience, as an editor.
It was slave labor.
There you go.
He lived up to his name.
Yeah, but
But Dan he was always a cool guy.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dan's awesome. That's kind of the sad part about our independent scene. We had a lot of really great guys who were very helpful at developing some of the better talents in the business, but nobody really credits them because, well, you didn't pay us, or because of this, that, or other reason. It's like I don't understand it myself. Why would you want to ignore the people who actually helped you start and helped you develop? But they do it all the time. Again, it kind of like goes back to the narrative thing I was saying about how a lot of these people today, when they're doing their crowdfunding, want to tear down everybody else and build themselves up. It's not my best piece. I could do better. I'm trying to think. He has a blank chest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember. Sorry about that. While the silence says, "Hey, Wrench." He came back at 10:08. And Nighthawk finished his Princess Leia illustration.
Nice.
And it's on his Instagram. Oh, I didn't see your response, John. John, when I asked him about his doctor's appointment, he said, "Let's just say I have a lot to look forward to and pay for." Okay. Yeah, you'll have to talk. You'll have to tell me more about that later, privately. But oh, I knew he was having some dental issues, but
Sorry to hear it. Oh, we still got people hanging in here.
oh yeah, they like to watch us draw.
Cool.
That's the one thing I will say. If you have people watching, like what you're seeing, we'll do that. Especially if we draw from scratch, I guess. Some people don't like it when I draw. What's the word? I get some blue lines first and then working the blue lines through. We want to get them blank. I don't know why specifically, but it's like, what's the difference? You're seeing the final drawing. I'm just making sure I don't make as many mistakes. Whatever, right?
I ran out of lead in my blue. I had a blue lead mechanical pencil.
Mm-hmm.
I ran out of lead, and it's a certain kind. It's like I thought I had a whole bunch of it. Maybe I still do in a box, but so I just quit using blue pencil. I've gone back to.
We're gonna have to toss this one, believe it or not. The tape tore the card. Which is fine. I'll just redraw it. It's the wrong tape. I'll use scotch instead of. In fact, why don't I just go ahead and get another blank out here? I know I've got some. This time I'll remember not to do that. Didn't know that was going to do that. It doesn't normally do that. Must be humid today. Yeah, I don't know about Instagram. I guess you can use it now with Facebook Messenger. I guess they're supposed to be synced up now in the last week or so.
Oh, really?
But I don't have it. I haven't. It's stupid. I have an Instagram account, but I don't have an Instagram account. I got it online on my desktop, but you can only use it as an app on your phone. Apparently, I can't put anything on it through the through the desktop. I've never understood it. It's very strange. I'm like, I don't need another app on my phone. I got too many as it is. But what size brush is that?
Number 2.
Okay. I'm gonna try something here. Whoop. Does that bring it even closer in on the on my side, guys?
Yeah, it looks like that's better, maybe.
Okay. Because I'm gonna, yeah, as you can see, it kind of got tore up there on the top of the card there where I stuck it. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo it real quick. No biggie. Nothing to wall.
Do you have your own like sketch cards printed up?
No, these are kind of they're on 110-pound cardstock.
Mm-hmm.
I got, you buy it over at Georgia Pacific at Walmart, and I have a template that I print out on that and cut them out right now. I want to get my own full-blown cards again, but just haven't had the money for it right now, or the demand for it. If the demand was there, I'd do it. But when you don't have the demand, don't spend the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22
Yep.
because sometimes you need to spend the money to make the demand.
That's kind of true. That's kind of true.
It can be. It's not always true.
No, you're not wrong. That's for sure. You're definitely not wrong. But I've sold a lot of sketch cards off this style, so it doesn't have to be the hard card stock hard stock cards. This is the second time. Maybe I can get it better. Try this. Yeah, see, that's a much better tape. It's not gonna peel off. Okay. Let me go ahead and get the other one too, so it won't slide. I don't know why I use scotch. I should have known better. No biggie. That's better. Yeah, too thick. Yeah, something right here. I'm gonna do okay.
Thank you, Arlene.
Hmm?
Arlene just paid me a compliment. That was very nice.
Hmm. Concerning, you're trying to. Wrench is trying to think of concerning what? You're trying to think of something to say concerning what, Wrench? Wildwood asks me, how did I first get into the comic industry? Um, well, I started in my teenage years doing editing for other people's independent comics, friends in school. Um, and that was around 85 or 86. And then I moved away from where my friends were, so I was out for a few years. And then I went into college, and I was part of what is called a Amateur Press Alliance, fanzine type group called the Super Team Amateur Press Alliance. And I was starting to learn a little bit about it because I was more of a writer and editor. I didn't really draw at that point. And around 91 or 92, I was in college and I just met the right people. We formed a collective on the campus of Central Michigan University and started doing our own books. And at that time, I started going to conventions, met Gary Reed at Caliber, and was basically doing my own underground comics and working with Caliber on the side while going to college. And that was in like 92, 94. And then I would, as I already said, when my parents graduated, when I graduated from college, my parents had sold their house in Michigan, and I was like, well, I got to at least help them get set up. And then my mother got sick, and she moved out west, so I was kind of like stuck out there for a long time. But I would do work. That's how I kind of got in touch with Dan Votto over at Slave Labor, was because we were in California and I was in Nevada at that point. So was that kind of a situation. Um, I also did some stuff for Marvel. I did some inking work as an assistant to Jeff Albrecht and Tim Zahn on some Marvel Comics Presents and What If and Avengers West Coast around that time in the mid 90s. God, I'm too tall. What I did here. We have two. That's that. That's okay. I can. Oh, this is what the silent sound of silence sounds like. Is that what you mean? Uh,
Does it have any questions? We can make
yeah.
it have some noise. Um,
I mean, you know,
like,
when I'm drawing, I have a background music, but I don't. Some people say it's annoying, so I just and you know I figured what the heck, you know. I think it's okay to have background music if like you pre-recorded the and you're drawing it like a pre-recorded fast sketch type piece, and you put music with the video. But when it's live draw, I guess people don't want the sound there. I guess I don't know. Or did I miss something else that you meant instead, Wrench? what I'd like to do in the future is have just live draw where we're all drawing the same thing on a weekend or something.
Everybody's drawing the same picture.
Well, not the same picture, but the same character.
I was just kidding.
Well,
Good.
you know what I could do is I could do the pencils, blue line it, send you the copy, you print it out, and then you ink the blue line.
Yeah, I actually was doing that with people, and I got quite a collection. I was going to put it together into a sketchbook called Collaborations with Sketchbook or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like, I don't know, maybe a good 15 of them done. And I show like the pencils on one side and then
Right.
my inks on the other side.
Yeah.
I would do more of that if I had time.
Yeah. It's kind of like. Do you remember John Dennis at Caliber? He did The Realm.
No, I wasn't familiar with what other people do.
Okay.
I knew that The Crow was done there.
Mm-hmm.
What else? There was a book called Oz. I actually did one of the covers for.
Yeah, that was Ralph and Stu. And oh geez, what was his name? Ralph and Stu Griffith wrote it, but Ralph Griffith and Stu Kerr wrote it. Oh geez, what? I'm trying to think of the guy who drew it. I can't think of his name. Oh well. But yeah, you mean side by side like these, right?
Look on YouTube. Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's my Silver John for a Thor test that he had for Marvel back in '93.
And those are your inks on top?
Yep. On the right. And then there's his pencils on the left.
Looks good.
And then I got my inks over Gene Ha. Here's his pencils.
Oh, you did a whole book like that?
No, this is just part of my sketchbook from my Wingman sketchbook.
Yeah, that's amazing. The inks are powerful.
Yeah. But yeah, I do a whole section on inking. It's got my own artwork in here. And this is from 2011.
Cool.
But yeah, just I like 5 or 6 samples I put in there, and it's got some projects of things that were supposed to come from Marvel that never came out.
Yeah.
What if Colossus had become a ruler of Limbo for What If? Instead of basically instead of Ileana giving a soul sword to Kitty Pryde, he gets it because of the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Her brother, and he has to fight Sim, the demon, and stuff. So those are my inks over the late Matthew Cammert.
Nice.
And part of the reason this didn't get published was because I said something in Comics Buyer's Guide magazine about editorial at Marvel writing on the side too often, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that, so they decided to cancel me out, and they didn't publish this stuff from Matthew, and Matthew was terminally ill at the time. He had kidney failure. He was 2 years old. And I was like, you want to come after me, that's one thing, but you just, no forgiveness. Let's put it at that. So, Not Hawk Warrior says the page is fantastic. What was my first comic I did? Are you meaning as an editor, writer, or illustrator? Because I've done all 3. The first book I edited was, I'm can't remember who was first. I think it was Saint Justice by Tim Jones III in 1985 was the first editing and sort of ghostwriting I did for his book, and that lasted about I think like 4 issues, and then he had to take some time off because he was 13 himself at the time, and his grades weren't there, so his father refused to print until he got his act together and got his grades back up, and then I moved. So the other one would have been Paul Mazurik's E.D. Die, which is E.D. D-I-E. If you're familiar at all with the band Iron Maiden and their mascot Eddie, it's basically that character as the rogue trooper, a um, zombie warrior post-apocalyptic future, basically, is what that book was about. And I helped Paul do that book for the first 4 or 5 issues, and then 85, 86. My first personal stuff that I actually did that was on me was Supreme 6, which was in 93 to 95. And it was a 6-issue series. And I also did a number of books, self-publishing and self-distributing through the group through Central Michigan University. I did a book called Komodo, the Dragon, which was basically a martial arts type, Iron Fist type character. I did the Supreme Six characters, which was kind of my version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess you could say. Um, I had a book called Twilight, which was an urban crime fighter type character. And my most successful property was a book called The Adventures of Spacey the Alien, which I will be eventually relaunching probably sometime next year. And that was about an alien who crash lands on Earth and befriends a bunch of kids. And he takes them around the Earth and around the galaxy, our solar system, actually, not so much the galaxy. And it was a kind of like a science educational comic at the time, because I was selling it to schools and I was selling it to daycare centers and other places other than comic shops, more so to get to that market. And it was very successful. I sold about 13 to 14,000 copies an issue. The rest of the stuff I was selling closer to 3 to 5,000 copies. But it took a lot of work. Because you had to go to schools and you had to talk to superintendents, and you had to talk to parent groups, and you had to do a lot of marketing to convince people to go ahead and order the book. And sometimes they would have, well, suggestions, I guess you could say, on what the book should be. And it was a little bit. It got a bit annoying, but I did that pretty successfully for like from 93 to 98. Made a pretty good fair chunk of money off of that. And I had to take a break from it when my mother got sick, though. And then my father got sick as well and had a heart attack. And with both of them down, I just couldn't focus on comics for a while. So I would end up doing editorial work for other companies, mostly talent scout stuff, you know. No, Twilight was basically a alien in urban Detroit area that was fighting street gangs. Do I illustrate my own stories? Yeah, I do. I illustrate some of my own, and some I collaborate with others. I'm a writer and an editor for foremost. I got into the art side largely because in the late '80s, early '90s, when I was interested, um, it's very difficult for writers to get seen by editorial without artwork attached to the project, especially in the mainstream. So I came to the realization I had to learn how to draw because I couldn't afford the artists I wanted. That was about the gist of it.
You had to become the artist you wanted.
Well, try to.
Yeah, we all are trying to.
I don't think I've ever quite made it. Even though I can emulate it all kinds of different styles, it's just come on, man. I've drawn some of my own, and I've had other artists as well. Like I said, that Colossus thing that you saw a little bit earlier was one of my former studio mates. His name was Matthew Cameron, and unfortunately he passed away um, back in '95 or '90s. No, not '95. That's what I know. '98, '99 ish. Both him and his brother were terminally ill with kidney problems, and already had had already received kidneys before, and it just didn't. They weren't going to get any more transplants. Didn't have that much time left, and I had Matthew drawing various Marvel stuff for me at the time, and also a series that unfortunately never got produced called Spellseeker, which was a fantasy series. And I can show you what that looks like in a little bit here. And I just got to get this ink. Get back to my artwork real quick here. This is some of Matthew's pencils and my inks and my lettering back then. If it'll just, there we go.
That's pretty cool.
And then this is the enemies that were chasing them. And then there's some of his, there's Matt's pencils above, and then my inks below. So about
That's good stuff, man.
and then another drawing of one of the female demons called Sathani. And then the lead enemy is a wizard. But like I said, unfortunately, he passed away, and I've been looking for a replacement for him ever since. But if I ever find another replacement that I'm satisfied with, then I'll go ahead and do that. And then this is my art. It's all me for one of my other series, which is hopefully coming out next year. It's supposed to be a graphic novel called Blake and Terror, Blake and Terror, Intergalactic Thieves, The Crystal Conspiracy.
And that's going to come out next year?
I'm hoping so. That's the plan. I've had it for years. It's just that every time I go to get to work on it, other things come up, and I have to put it on the side.
Yeah.
Burner. But this is the first page of the actual graphic novel.
Nice.
You can see the influence of Vernon Perez in my work. Pretty much. But
yeah, some of the best.
Yeah. So, yeah. And hopefully that'll be ready to come out next year finally. So, and kind of like what you were talking about earlier, how you do remarks, you can buy a copy of Wingman. Find it here. We are doing a live draw, so that's good enough. It's not 10:18, it's 10:22, but what's the difference? Wingman, The Art of Lewis Bright Raven, is $15, $20 with the remark sketch inside. It would be sketched right inside on the logo page, front logo page. I don't have an example right handy of what it is, but whatever character you ask for would be the what I would draw there, head and shoulders sketch, basically. So if anyone was interested in that, you can contact me at Quoth the Raven LBR72 at gmail.com and use the name Wingman or sketchbook in your email header, and I'll know what you're talking about.
Wrench said 100 out of 100. Thanks, Wrench, on that head drawing, I guess I did.
Yeah, the face that you're doing up in the top right corner there. The scientist, I guess, it's zapping him with a electrical quad. Looks like someone.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see.
It is about 8 o'clock p.m. now.
Well, I think I'm done with this for today.
That sounds good. Let's call it a wrap on you live drawing, and let's go ahead and let you go back to the stretch goals and everything else one last time.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this is the Titan 2 campaign. It's currently up on Indiegogo.
Go ahead and refresh the page. See how high you're if you've gone up. And
we're at 53 backers, 69% towards our flexible goal. So that's pretty good, almost 70%. And it's been up for like around 3 days, I believe. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
We have 27 days left. Um, and so this is the sequel to Titan 1. And if you miss Titan 1, you can always get it in this campaign on Indiegogo, Titan 2, or Titan Mouse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Search it in Indiegogo. There's some sample pages in there. And we're going to be, or here's all the perks. Well, the main perks are over in the description, but you can see them on the right-hand side as you go. There's extra ones in there, like original art and things like that. And then when we start hitting our stretch goals, I'm going to start creating some product like trading cards, bookmarks, stickers, patch, postcard, it looks like.
Arlene says, great stream. Glad I found a new YouTube channel to binge watch. You'll have a blessed night. Thank you, Arlene. Hope you like what you see on my show. I do a lot of reviews, a lot of talking, I do criticize the industry somewhat, but I try to be as positive as possible and give everybody coverage and reviews. And live draws have been coming out more recent, so hopefully we'll get some more on that as well. Okay, but thanks for coming in, and hope you like the channel.
Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging with us. Hope you had a good time. Thanks for having me on your show, man.
Oh, no problem. Always. Like I said, you're probably going to be invited back again sometime when we have a theme or something.
All right.
Yeah, that way we can all draw something really cool and do. But or maybe I can do pencils and you can do. I can send you a blue line. You can ink them or do something. We'll figure out something down the road.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I can sit down and actually really draw Titan. Then you have something to put in your next book.
Yeah, right on. We could be doing like a fan art thing. I did it in the first one, and we did like a contest to see who would win. And there was a 3-way tie, which you got the 3 bookmarks, and it shows each of the winners. It was weird. It was a 3-way tie. So I was going to make a bookmark of the winner, so I just made 3 bookmarks. It was pretty cool. So we'll do that again for Titan 2.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to talk to you about on how to make where you got the cards made, the sketch cards, because I can't find my paperwork on the place I was going to get it at. So
yeah,
I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, before we go ahead and call it a night here, let's go ahead and make sure you check that. I want to make sure I get the address here. Doesn't want to show up there. There we go. It should come up. For funding at indiegogo.com/projects Titan-mouse-2. That is the page you're looking at, and hopefully we will get some more stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to finish inking and coloring this quick Titan mouse thing I'm working on here. Whoops. And then post it on my Facebook page. So
cool.
When I get it done. And then we'll see what people think of it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what we'll do with that. And tomorrow, let's see what we got going on here. I want to find my drive showing what I'm doing tomorrow. If it's showing, yeah, it's supposed to. Okay, there we go. Again tomorrow, if I can get the thing to show what it's supposed to show, it's not showing it. There it is. Ah. There. Tomorrow we will be reviewing The Dispatcher, which is a novel by John Scalzi, Mr. Miracle, Tom King, and Mitch Gerard's graphic novel, and issues 1 through 4 of a 4-issue miniseries of the character named Surge, which is one of the DNA agents from the 80s by Mark Evanier, Rick Hoberg, and Al Gordon. And that will be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where I do those reviews. And I'm going to go ahead and change my camera angle here real quick. There we go. There we go. And let's go ahead and stop. There we go. And it cuts him out, so I'm going to do it the other way. I don't want to cut Gary out for saying goodbye. Saturday, I'll be doing live draw, and we will be doing my sketch cards for Halloween. I'm going to be doing a store appearance on Halloween Day. I guess since we're going to not have the Halloween stuff from Diamond this year. And so anyway, they're going to have me do a guest appearance. And I'll have little toy figures and sketch cards and stuff like that to give away free to the kids at that. And I'll be selling some prints and stuff at that. And there'll be more information on that on Saturday when I do the sketches for that. Okay. And so I want to thank Gary Shipman for being with us this evening. And hopefully other people who haven't checked in yet, who are not part of Gary's followers, will come in and see later and remember to buy the new book. I'm pretty sure that John will get it, because I think John bought your first book recently when you were here. I'm pretty sure he ordered it. Let me see if he's. Let me see if John's still here. If he's It's 11:05, and he's had a long day because he had to go to Charleston from Columbia to Charleston, South Carolina, to see the doctors, drive back, and then do play performance. So that was not fun, I'm sure. But
he said yes. I supported Titan 1. Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I didn't know if you'd gotten it because we hadn't really talked about it. John sometimes comes on as a guest commentator, and we do our own opinions on whether we agree or not on different books. So, yeah, but we're really doing that. So hopefully, I don't know, John. Now you know of that one. You'll check out that later, I'm sure. So, okay, again, I want to thank Gary for being our guest this evening, and we will be back tomorrow afternoon for reviews. And so, anything else you want to say before you head out, Gary?
No, just thanks for having me on. It was good to talk with you and reminisce about things and learn about. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that, don't know our comics history, and I'm not saying I do. I know some, but not enough. Always got stuff to learn. So,
right, yeah.
Alrighty, man. Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, God bless everybody.
And if you want to reach me, you can reach me at
Me or you?
Me.
Sorry.
I'm trying to get the page to share, and it's not sharing it. I don't know why it's not doing it, but we'll get it here. That's why it's in the wrong drive. Okay, never mind. I know what it's doing. Why? Okay. Just give me a second. It's sharing the wrong screen. That's what the problem is. Whoops. Here we go. You might want to turn your screen off, Gary. Your shared screen to the. There you go. Yeah. Nah, already. Not your fault, mine. There we go. If you want to reach me, you can reach me at Facebook at lewis.brightraven, deviantart.com/brightraven, YouTube, Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightraven. You can email me at quotheravenlbr72@gmail.com for questions, anything you want to have answered on the show, type thing. If I don't answer you at that address, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. The podcast airs regularly Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, thank you once again, and we will see you guys next week or tomorrow if you watch the Booktober event. I'm just trying to get this silly machine to do what it's supposed to do. Doesn't want to. But there we go. Okay. See you guys.